Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Beardy Lumber. Matthew and I greatly appreciate you tuning in. As you can see, we're standing out here in our log yard, and I got a pile of pine logs behind me. Now, this is going to be an interesting process, so hang on. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about what we're going to do with all of it. Okay, guys, appreciate you tuning in. We already said we got this big pile of pine logs behind us. It's kind of a mix of southern yellow pine and Virginia pine. I actually got an oak here. I see an oak, and there's a maple. Those are completely different. Customer wanted maybe some mantle pieces, and the maple we'll just cut down to 1-inch boards. But we'll take you along on this process because it's something I enjoy doing. It's something new that we've started since we got our molder planer running. We're going to take this pile of logs and you and us on a journey from sawmilling to kiln drying to finished processing. And that is the goal I've had for our business for 7-8 years, is wanting to get to this very point where I'm standing today. I can take this log all the way through the process and hand it back to the customer, their wood, their lumber going in their project. And that thrills me to no end. So we'll try to slow down a little bit, go through some of the cutting. You can see there's a variety of sizes. We're only shooting for 2 sizes, 4.5 and 6.5. And the customer has not made up their mind yet whether these are going to be tongue and groove boards or hard yellow pine flooring. I've tried to convince him that this material is good tight grain stuff, would make some beautiful southern yellow pine flooring, heart pine flooring. But that's yet to be determined, and it's not going to affect how we saw it, other than the fact that we're not going to try to do any 8-inch boards, because if he wants to do flooring, I think 8's too wide. So we'll stay 4.5, 6.5. We'll cut them an 1 16th of an inch thick, and that'll give us the right amount of material to take off on our molder planer. And maybe in the second video, we do an in-depth deep dive on how we dry this. We hadn't done that in a while. A lot of people are interested. They've never done it, or they're getting into it. And I'm no expert, but I am good at it. I've done enough of it. I understand the theory, I understand the principle, and I understand the practice of being one doing it. And then the last step, probably a couple months from now, but well, I don't know. It'd be at least a month. We'll run it through the molder planer and we'll make an end product. So hang on for the journey. This is going to be a journey. It's going to take a little while for us to get all this through the system, but we're going to take you along, and we appreciate you watching. Okay, guys, we'll start out with a little teaching what's in my head, what I'm thinking. Now, this is a small log. This is a 10 by 10, being gracious. Now, we've got a few smaller, and we got a lot bigger, but we got to cut them off. The one right there is even smaller, but my goal is to take this top cut, and I want to exit the other end with at least 4.5 inches. Now, I probably will. I'll probably have to come back and take another 1-inch cut here to have a 6-inch face down through there, yet to be determined. And then we'll roll the log up 90 degrees, and I want to cut here, and I want to try to get at least a 4.5-inch face, because when I come below it, I'll take it off, and Matthew can run it through the edger. We'll make a 4.5 board, and then if I have to, I'll cut again until I get a 6.5-inch face here, and then we'll come back up here and we'll square the log off, roll it up this side, cut it back down to the bottom. Now, it looks like it'll make a 6.5 square cant, I hope. If not, we can always go down to a 4.5. We're not throwing anything away unless it's below a good 4.5-inch board. So there should be very minimum waste. This log's nice and straight. Now, if you've got one that's got a banana or got a lot of taper, then you can't help it. Don't get upset when you have to throw away a lot of flitch because you didn't grow the tree. You know, if it's 20 inches on this end and 10 on that end, you're going to throw a lot away. You just can't help it. I mean, that's just, we didn't grow the trees. We're here to do our best to saw the best lumber out of what we have available. Now, all these little poles are pretty good and straight. They grow deep in the woods. I know where he took them down. He's clearing a house lot. So they're not big, but they are old. They grow very slow, and that's why I told him this would be a good candidate for some hardwood flooring. But I hope that helps explain where I'm at mentally, what I'm shooting for. And this is going to be the same on every log we do that's within that 10 to 16 inch range. Now, there's a few out there that's going to go 20, 24 inches, and we will do them a little different. We may look at cutting some 6.5 cants and sliding them off because the log's bigger. But these little ones, this is kind of the goal for just about every one of them, is maximize what we can get out of it. I don't want to take this first cut and end up with a 3-inch wide board when I come up to under it, because it's just waste. I might as well go ahead and cut it down to that face underneath it is at least 4.5 wide. And when I cut under that face, that will give Matthew a board to make a flitch to make a 4.5 inch board. Enough talking. You'll see it. Now, let's talk about our Wood Mizer sawmill. We don't give enough credit, guys. You guys know we love Wood Mizer. I thoroughly enjoyed every person I've ever made contact with at Wood Mizer. You know, watching our channel, we like Joe Maine. Incredible person. I'm thrilled to death that he took a job with Wood Mizer. He's a great contact, got a great resource. Guys, if you need anything blades related, sawmill related, edger, sharpener set, or, you know, kiln, give him a call. He may not be an expert on kilns, but he's got the number and the contact for the person in Wood Mizer to hook you up with, get you settled what you need to know. Goes without saying, though, he is a blade expert. You're not going to catch him off guard with any kind of blade questions. Give him a call. His information will be in the description below. I call him every now and then. I have a little issue, something not acting the way it should. You know, we'll talk about it, and he can find the answers. But as usual, we're running a Wood Mizer Turbo 7. You can run whatever you like. I've tried them. I'm not going to say all, but I've tried a lot of different blades from Wood Mizer. And Turbo 7 for right here in Western North Carolina, for the species we saw, is an excellent all-around blade. It saves me from having to have 4 different kinds, because we run 2 different degrees of blades and 3 different sizes. Because we run a 4 degree in 45 thousandths, and the next time I buy them, I might try 55s. And we run a Turbo 7 in a 45 thousandths and a Turbo 7 in a 55. I save the 55 thousandths for these Southern pines, Virginia pines, whatever, with the hard knots, because it is an excellent blade for just plowing right through the knots and allow me to keep up good level of production. But you try what you want, but I highly recommend giving the Turbo 7s a try. You won't be disappointed. Enough talking. Let's get the mill warmed up, blowers running, vacuum up and running. Yeah, we forgot about that, Matthew. We got to replace our vent hose. Yeah. That'll be another video. Our suction hose and cold weather don't mix. It's old. It's probably a year old. It's time to change it. But you can see it's got some cracks in it. If I tried, I could stick my finger in there. So that's another thing we got to get done today. So enough talking. Let's get to work. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that. Hope that it kind of me pre-explaining what I was going to do versus going through and doing it. I hope that helps. I want you to look at the cut quality. We talked about a Mizer Turbo 7 saw blade. Look at it over that knot. And this blade has at least 300 board feet on it already. That's a beautiful cut. Just, you know, you should not want or expect any better than that. That is in the 99th percentile cutting with a Mizer LT35. That is perfect. Couldn't ask for no better. And that's what we expect every day. A lot of things go into keeping it that way. We got plenty of videos you can go back and watch in our tech tips selection about setting up your machine, make sure your machine's running straight. I get guys on Mizer all the time asking these questions. My mill's doing this. Guys, just go back and watch some of these in-depth videos on setting this machine up. So you can't ask me why my mill's sawing wrong and me answer that in less than an hour. Okay, there is so much that goes into making your mill saw like this. And like I say, we have these resources on our playlist that they're there to help you. Your Mizer Owner's Manual is another great resource. Don't go to Mizer Facebook page and ask, how do I fix my mill? You're gonna get so many wrong answers, so many half-truths, so many little snippets of what you need to do. What you need to do is read that manual, watch some of these tech tip videos, go back to zero and start over. Get your mill set up, running right, get all the parts and pieces running right, and you'll produce this quality of wood. It don't happen by accident. Matthew and I spent a lot of time, a lot of effort keeping our mill tuned up. Since we fixed that problem we had with the mast, we hadn't had to do the monthly reset we were doing last year, driving us nuts. But that's a video too, you can watch that one. It still requires sharp blades, good rollers, good guides, good belts, you know, everything. Good tension on your drive belt, that's another one. That's why I say you just can't ask the question, why is my mill sawing wonky, and get a one-word answer or one-sentence answer. There's too many things going into it. So, before we get off on the deep end on that, I just wanted to show you these boards. It's got a little heart defect here. I can't affect the quality of lumber. I can affect the quality of the sawn lumber. Now, if it's got a defect, you and I can't affect that. But if we sawed a good flat straight board, you know, I'm sawing these at 1 1/16 on the Mizer, you know, and that's going to give me just a little less than 1 1/16 on the finish. Yeah, about 1 1/32. That'll be perfect for what we're doing with our end use. Now, if I was sawing these for a customer to hang on the side of the barn, I'd saw them at 1 inch because they're just going to nail them up on the barn. But we're going to secondary process these down to 3/4 of an inch, and we've done enough lately to know that we need that extra 1/16 to make getting a clean top and a clean bottom a little easier. Anything else here, Matthew? Like I say, I hope this little demonstration of what I was thinking when I laid that log up there helps, because you need to have a plan. I tell people all the time, don't stack wood unless you got a plan. Don't saw wood unless you got a plan. And don't stack logs in your yard unless you have a plan. You're trying to eliminate double handling all you can. And when we threw that log up there, that was my plan. And then I took a minute and explained it to you how I wanted to cut it. So have a plan in everything you're doing, because we don't want to handle this wood but once. Ben and Matthew are going to stack it over here. And when it gets to 15 layers high, we're going to band it, put a label on it, move it out, do another one. And that's probably what you're going to see next, is this pile grow, grow again, because we got a bunch of them out there to do, guys. I can't tell you how much we really appreciate you watching. So enough jabbering, let's get back to work. It took us a couple days to get that finished. We had a lot of other things going on, but I hope you enjoyed that time lapse, seeing the stacks grow. This is stack 2, stack 3, because there's another one out there already. What do you think we got? Maybe 2 more?
Yeah, at least 2.
Probably 2 more stacks. We'll have this order done. Pretty good size order. Fine. Matthew and I are going to strap it together, put my identification stickers on the end of it, write down some notes, get them out of here, and we're going to build up 2 more stacks and hopefully get this done. Hey guys, welcome back. Man, I hope Matthew really shortened that up. That's a lot of time lapse. That's a lot of boards. It took a while to go through it. Worked this afternoon by myself. Mordecai had a doctor's appointment. You can see I got the floor cleaned up. I still got this big pile of bark. I'll wait and make Matthew help in the morning, shovel it all in the bin. But let's walk out here and look at our stack. Let's go for a walk. Now, you notice the yard is finally cleaned up. All these logs is right here in the middle. Been waiting on one of my log suppliers. Him and I finally got together and come to an agreement on a dollar amount and made that transaction happy. Made him happy, made me happy. So we can move all of them out of the yard. So a lot of this stuff's been sitting here since the hurricane, waiting to get finalized. So there we go. We'll just do it without a cut. That's real world, people. You know, a lot of these logs come in. This one individual, it was at least 10 or 12, maybe, I lost count. That's why I write it down. It was 12, 14 loads of logs since the hurricane. And he just kept dumping them, said, we'll get later, we'll get later. Well, I finally told him, I said, we need to get this settled so I can basically move them, because I didn't really want to move them till we settled up. So all that's cleaned up. The yard looks a lot better. Here's our stack of lumber behind me. We ended up with 5 bundles. 4 of the bundles are 15 layers high, and the last bundle ended up being 16 layers high. Board footage was $29.95, 5 board feet short of 3,000. That's a little higher than I guessed just looking at the log pile. But since we was cutting 4.5 and 6.5, there's really no need for much waste. You know, when you cut your first flitch off, I try to cut that first flitch shooting for, you know, 4.5, 5-inch board underneath it. So when I come back and cut it again, that's a keeper and not waste. So there's things you can do there to try to maximize your yield. A wood miser or a band mill, any of them, but wood miser particularly, you're taking a real thin kerf, so you don't lose a lot in the sawdust. Unlike a circle mill where you're taking a 1/4 inch plus whatever the blade vibrates, and some of them that could be quite a bit. So we always yield more per log than any circle mill ever dreamed of yielding. I was quite happy with the wood. Just looking at the end grain, I told the customer it'd be a good candidate for southern yellow pine flooring, and I still hold to that because, you know, what I could see on the end grain of the growth rings was the same thing inside. It was a beautiful wood for the most part, you know. And I'd be honest with him, I'd tell him I'd run probably about 75% of it for flooring and not the rest of it for flooring, maybe do wallboards. So if he can give me a number what he wants for hardwood floor, or for, you know, hard pine flooring, we can pick out the best 500,000 board feet, whatever he needs, and run that, and then run the rest of it as just tongue and groove, V-groove. Because if it's got a defect here or there, it don't matter on the wall, but you don't want those in your floor system. So what do we do? What do we learn in this video? That's a lot of work. Biggest log in this pile was probably 18 inches. Wasn't none of them big by any means. They're the real tight grain pine. It's a little slower sawing because there's a lot of meat there you're pulling your blade through. Unlike a forest pine or a loblolly, you can just hog right through that. It don't have the same grain structure. We used the heck out of our edger. We edged a mountain of boards. I've done some time analysis on that, and having Matthew edging is a great benefit as far as our board footage per hour and our yield that we're getting. A lot of boards that people just wouldn't waste their time edging a 5-inch board. We can run it through the edger, make a 4.5, and it's a keeper. And I know I did a lot. I sawed for many years without an edger, and we throwed away some stuff that probably could have been edged, but it just wasn't really worth the trouble for 1 or 2, 3 boards. But with the edger sitting over there, and Matthew watching me saw, he can edge everything I push off as a keeper. He'll edge it and make something out of it. So wonderful wood. I love sawing it. We got it ready for our kiln. Like I said, we got a vacation coming up. I got to load in right now, and you can see over here there's 5 more stacks. There's 5 more 8-foot stacks. I'm gonna try to run those before we take off, and then this will be the first load when we get back. Hadn't talked to him in about a month, so I don't know where he's at on his timeline, but he said he was getting closer. So it'll probably be, as soon as we get it run through the kiln, we'll turn around and run it again through our molder planer. Unless things change, my intention is to do a video on kiln drying this start to finish. You know, putting it in, the way we stack it in there, the way we close the box up, starting a cycle, and maybe a daily update on how the cycle's going until it comes out. It'll take 2 runs, unfortunately, to run this, because, yeah, best I can do is get 4 of these bundles in, so that last bundle will have to run in the next batch of pine. I'll have to get some pine sawed up to go with it. That won't be a problem. We need to run some inventory, but about 4 bundles, 2,400 feet is about where I want to be on a full kiln load. So, like I say, it'll take 2 cycles, but we'll try to take you along for that journey. I hope you're enjoying this. My goal with our YouTube channel is to teach. You know, I don't know everything, but I do know what I have learned and what I do with my own 2 hands, and I hope to try to part that on to you. If you got any questions about what we do, drop them in the comment section. I'll be glad to try to answer them. Feel free to go back and look at our playlist. We've got a lot of things broken out as far as wood miser tech tips, sawing techniques, different things that we've covered in great detail that take time, you know. And we've got longer form videos that really break it down in how to saw, how to work on your wood miser, how to set up your wood miser, how to work on your edger, you know, lots of different topics there. Whew, I am tired. I'm loving these longer days. It's 6:15 and still got just a little daylight. I appreciate that. That's going to do it for today, guys. As always, a big shout out to Matthew and Solomon doing our videos. Any of you YouTubers out there, you know I got it. I'm really blessed having Matthew and Solomon doing the editing, where I can focus on other things. But check out Solomon's channel, Third Beard Fishing, if you get a chance. Big shout out to Joe Maine and all of Mizer. They're a big help to this channel. They produce quality products, people. If you're on the fence about buying a sawmill, let me tell you, you won't regret a Mizer. We run all Mizer double hard saw blades. I buy those from Mizer through Joe Maine. His phone number is in the description. Give him a call. He'll be glad to help you out. Anything sawmill related, saw blades, sharpeners, edgers, kilns, industrial equipment, whatever. That's going to do it, guys. I hope we've earned your subscription. Do us a favor, tell your friends about us. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.